Blog Talk Radio.
Hi, this is Jeff Altman, the Big Game Hunter, and welcome to No BS Job Search Advice. The show is called that very simply because that's what I want to give you. No BS Job Search Advice. Clear, concise information about how to find work, especially during these difficult times. So, as we start today, this morning the Bureau of Labor Statistics released the current jobs report, and frankly, it was atrocious. Instead of the 160,000 some odd jobs that were expected to be created by public and private sector, instead only 39,000 were counted by the government. And frankly, if you want to be traumatized by this, as the media is very happy to do, by all means, go ahead. But what I'm seeing, and what most recruiters I'm talking with are seeing, is that white-collar employment is back in a very big way. Firms are off hiring again. And frankly, we expect the unemployment numbers to remain high, but private sector employment and temporary employment continuing to be strong. Why do we think that? Really very simply. Numbers will remain high because state and local governments are going to be cutting back on people. But what we've been all feeling for the last 6 months or so, and for some of us in sectors like the ones that I cover, frankly, for more than a year, is that white-collar hiring, particularly in areas like technology, IT, even in manufacturing, certainly on Wall Street, firms are back hiring with a lot of strength to it. So if you want to be frightened, if you want to be traumatized, by all means go out and do that. But I think you're wasting your time. These are times where you can find work, where there are ways to find jobs. And that's really what I want to be talking about in this show, are ways that you can find work during this, what's perceived to be a difficult economic time, but in fact is an improving time. So I promised an opportunity to talk with you about how to use LinkedIn more effectively. And if you go to your LinkedIn profile, and you do what a lot of people have done, you haven't completed it. So here's a couple of things that I think you can do to improve your profile. Now, if you want to use mine as an example, by all means, go to Jeff Altman. Look for me at some point, Jeff Altman, and following my name is the term The Big Game Hunter, 4,200 plus. Now, why did I do that? Well, frankly, I'm branded as the Big Game Hunter. I've got a trademark for it. I've got 4,200 some odd people connected to me. Having a large number after my name, if true, is a way of attracting other people who want to connect with me and try to use my network. And although there are conflicting thoughts about whether you only want to have people that you know connected to you or not, I'll speak with you a little bit later about why it's an advantage to have lots of people who you may not even know as part of your network. So you start off with your name, and then I want to point out one of the most important areas on your profile page, and that is the line that is underneath your name. See, a lot of people just put a job title there, but they really don't say a lot about their experience. In my case, I could have spoken about being a professional recruiter or recruiting for such and such types of positions. The second would have been better to the first, but I decided to make it easy. And what I did was send your resume and connect with me at thebiggamehunter@cisny.com. Why? Because I want to see people's resumes. I'm less interested in talking to an absolute stranger than getting a feel for what their background is. So it invites people to connect with me by having my email address there, and it also invites them to send a resume to me, which I'm absolutely fine with as long as there's no expectation that I'm going to call someone. So when you look at your profile, that line underneath your name, please be careful to ensure that there's something useful there that's going to define you for what you do. Because frankly, what's the great advantage of LinkedIn? The basic advantage stems from the fact that recruiters, whether they're corporate recruiters or third-party recruiters such as myself generally have the belief that people who are not actively looking for work are in some way superior to those who are. See, the thoughts in the recruiting profession are that those who are out of work are in some way inferior to those who are working. So what you want to do is put yourself in a position where you're branding yourself with your LinkedIn page. And if someone is looking for you, they're able to find you based upon skills and experiences. So, again, looking at your page, where can you create influence for yourself and demonstrate professional expertise? Well, again, the most visible area is that line underneath your name, but obviously there are areas where you're defining your work per job. So as you write a description of what your role and responsibilities are under each of your sections of previous employment, think about how someone might find you if they were searching for someone with your experience, and make sure you demonstrate those keywords under your name. So again, think of your experience as like a mini resume. Think of your education as an opportunity to have relevant experience, relevant education, I should say, related to your experience demonstrated in that area. So we've spoken a little bit about the